Welcome to the Heavy Leather Backyard Trailer Trash Spook Show. I'm Rui the Teenage Werewolf, and here's your hosts, Sleaze Grinder and Kelly Kapow.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Heavy Leather Trailer Trash Backyard in the Studio Spook Show.
Wow.
Hey,
something.
Here's what we do on the show, Kelly.
What do we do?
We show you the latest. We show you highlights from the latest horror movies and previews.
Why do we do that?
Well, you're a horror enthusiast, otherwise you wouldn't be watching, so you want to know what's fresh, what's new, what's around the corner. You want to be excited for what is the next big horror thing that's happening, and we got all the previews ready to go for you. So, at the end of the show, you're going to have a whole lot of things to add to your watch list.
Or your queue.
Yeah, if you're British. First up, Fear of Rain. Girl living with schizophrenia struggles with terrifying hallucinations as she begins to suspect her neighbor has kidnapped a child. The only person who believes her is Caleb, a boy she isn't sure even exists. Fear of Rain stars Harry Connick Jr. and Katherine Heigl. It will be released in February.
Well, let's start with what you remember then. Do you recall anything?
I was in the woods. There was a man chasing me. And no one believes me. And it makes me question whether it's just in my head, even though I know it's real.
Do you think it's possible that you might be projecting your own fears?
Yeah.
So here we go. We got a big one.
This is a big one.
Big names.
Well,
Katherine Heigl hasn't really done a lot.
middle names, not big names, but names.
Yeah, names are good.
Like if you say the name Harry Connick Jr., you go, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl, I know her. Heard that she was a very difficult to work with.
Really?
That's what
Maybe
everybody
that's why she
says.
doesn't get jobs.
This is kind of a puzzle movie, obviously. Girl is dealing with hallucinations as it is. Now she's got a killer next door to deal with.
Or does she?
Well, first of all, number one, it is very hard. This is the patriarchal society that we live in. It's very hard to, as a woman, to have people believe you when you tell them something anyway.
Yeah.
Now, throw in the fact that she has schizophrenia, which means that she mixes stuff up all the time anyway. So, doubly hard to get people to believe you, right?
Yeah.
So, and now, as we're watching the movie, we have to figure out
If we believe her.
if we believe her.
I believe her.
You're supposed to believe women when they tell you stuff. So that's something that'll be in your head too. Like, I know I'm supposed to believe her, but should I believe her? I don't know. So it's really going to be a lot of twists and turns. I can't believe, by the way, that Katherine Heigl is playing a teenager's mother. Didn't she used to be young? Katherine Heigl?
40 now, right?
I remember being like her being
something?
the girlfriend in things, and now she's the mom
that
in
was like
things.
in the 90s.
Was that 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Phew, time flies.
Or maybe like in the early 2000s.
Hey, Kelly Kapow, what'd you think of Fear of Rain, the trailer?
I think it looks good. I mean, I think it's kind of like a what's real type of movie, you know what I mean?
What's
like
real, what's not
very
real.
Twisty.
Yeah.
Production looks good.
Yep.
Acting looks pretty okay. I
Okay,
think.
yeah, all right.
I'm gonna see this one.
Okay, sounds good. Fear of Rain, February.
Another February.
It's going to be a wild February.
A bitchin' month.
Literally, it's going to be freezing. It's going to be snow out. There's going to be literally nothing else to do.
Watch
So
horror movies.
we are really doing you a favor by letting you know what's going to be happening in February. All right,
Yeah.
what else we got?
We got Blind.
Blind.
A former actress left blind after a botched surgery. Oh, that's terrible.
That is terrible.
Struggles to put her life back together, but realizes she isn't alone as she thinks after meeting for a few friends. It's streaming now.
I think someone broke into my house. Film was my life. Some of my favorite childhood memories are tied to the cinema. I dreamed of seeing myself on the big screen. And now, I can't see myself at all.
I have zero idea what's happening in the movie.
Yeah.
But
it looks like that movie. And honestly, it looks a lot like that movie Hush, and I didn't really like that one. But remember that one? It was like the woman getting stalked by someone outside, and she was deaf.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that, but this
Oh,
woman
it's a
is
flip
blind instead.
because she was deaf and now she's blind.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we got to figure out, and you're worried for her because you're seeing what she can't see.
Exactly.
So that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So it's like you're complicit in what's happening and you can't warn her.
Yeah.
Oof. Could be intense.
Yeah.
Blind, everybody. Not a great name for.
Well, I
thing,
mean, it is what it is.
I mean, it
She's blind.
explains what's happening.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Doom Tube,
Doom Tube.
your weekly guide to the deepest recesses of YouTube where no human should go.
All right, so every week, Rui shows us a weird video that he found on YouTube. This one is called Run. Pretty simple premise. A couple of kids are creeping around the graveyard, and then this happens. Let's roll it. Boom.
Yep. I don't think those are cops, weren't they?
Oh, were they cops? I
Yeah,
thought
they
they
were
were.
cops. So
I thought they were a couple of heavy metal kids.
it looked,
Are they cops?
I think they're cops. I think
Maybe they're heavy metal
they're
cops.
Heavy metal cops.
Teenage heavy metal
Teenage
cops.
heavy metal cops.
I think I just wrote a movie.
I think we did. Perfect. Well, yeah, this is, it's just like if you were in the graveyard and that happened, I would do the exact same thing.
This
even
is
if it had
what
guns.
this is what Kelly should do on her days off. She should go to graveyards and then just like hide behind the tombstones. And when people come to mourn their deceased loved ones, she should pop up
And just scream at the
and
top
just
of her
scream
lungs.
at them.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I know it is terrible, but it'd be funny.
It would be funny. What do you think, Frank? Frank agrees.
Yeah.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite game, Cursed Captions. So, simple premise. Each day I go on r/cursed images. I find you a cursed image. I read the title. Ken has to guess what it is. And this week it is cursed_encounter.
Cursed_encounter. So it's somebody meeting somebody. And it's going to be, I think maybe like a big guy, like a tall guy, and a like a midget. Meeting each other, encounter, having a weird encounter.
That is an encounter. All right, let's
see what we got.
Mysterious hand. Let's see what.
Giant and midget.
Little person.
Little person. Okay. Don't know what it is.
Well, it's a man swinging a flaming object around, creating a ring of fire, like that
Okay.
Johnny Cash song.
Okay.
Except,
Yeah.
real.
Okay. That would be a dangerous encounter.
That would be a dangerous encounter. I don't know. What would you do if you encountered that?
I would back away.
Very slowly.
I don't want to get hit with fire.
That thing's got some reach, though. I mean, it's a rope. You can just, shoot it at you.
Why do you think he's doing that?
I think my guess
Is he
is
just showing off?
he's had some problems with some very large mosquitoes.
Thank you. Well, there you go, everybody. So that's this week's cursed image. That's this week's
Doom Tube.
Doom Tube. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay out of the deepest, darkest recesses of YouTube. Leave it to the
This
professionals. This
See you
guy.
next week on DoomTube.
Cicada. Is that how you say that?
No, it's
Cicada. Cicada.
Cicada.
You say cicada. I say cicada. Stacey, is it cicada or cicada?
It's cicada.
First one or the second one? Cicada, cicada. All right, cicada. Did I say that right?
Yes.
After an environmental disaster, 4 eccentric friends, led by a disgraced baseball player, must band together to defend Los Angeles from a swarm of bloodthirsty cicadas.
You got it.
It is the directorial debut of David Willis, and it is streaming now.
Lock the doors, close the windows, do it now!
And we have no ever-loving idea what's going on.
Something must have mutated them. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Hey, buddy, you gotta get off the street. Maybe he's okay.
I fried your ass good, didn't I?
Those monsters are filled with liquid sugar. Sugar is flammable.
Are you telling me that these bugs are bombs?
What do you think of this one?
So I watched this trailer a bunch of times.
It looks fucking nuts.
I really like it.
It is so bad that it's gonna be good. Rui would love this one because this fucking thing is just like a mess. The CGI is like fucking like something straight out of like when they first developed CGI.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a camcorder movie.
Well, I haven't watched a lot of these like Cyclone Shark Exorcist movies,
No,
you know.
me either.
So maybe that's why. Maybe I'm not burnt out on them, but it does look pretty fun to me.
Yeah.
Everything is so bad that it's kind of incredible. You know?
It looks fun.
It's not easy to do stuff that badly, you know.
You gotta really try.
You got to really try. It's very easy to do stuff that's just kind of mediocre, and it's very easy to do stuff that's poor technically if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But to make something that's so bad that you go, wow, that's really bad, that's kind of an art form in itself. Not only is the CGI bad, but so is the practical effects.
Yeah, everything.
It's all bad. Right?
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting. I'm into it. Cicada!
No.
Cicada!
Yes.
And they're bugs.
Yeah.
And they're the bugs that show up, and then it's a big swarm.
Are they like the really loud motherfuckers?
Right, they're like crickets,
Yeah, but louder.
but they only show up like every 7 years or something, right? Thank you, Andy. They show up every 7 years and they eat all the vegetation. So they're a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Next,
It cuts deep.
it cuts deep.
Yeah. While on Christmas vacation, a young couple contemplates their future together.
That's never good.
Ashley, no.
That's never good. If you're contemplating your future together, it usually means
There
not
isn't
a whole lot of future left.
Ashley is interested in getting married and having kids, which terrifies Sam.
Oh, it's terrified.
When more attractive and paternal Nolan enters the
Fucking
picture.
Nolan.
Fucking Nolan. Sam's life spirals out of control as Ashley questions their relationship. Chaos reigns as Sam desperately clings to Ashley while fending off the threatening Nolan.
What do you want to talk about?
Marriage. How far is it?
It's like an hour or so. Welcome to my childhood home.
Sam, I need to tell you something.
What is it?
Oh, you're not proposing to me?
No. Surprise!
Hi, I'm Ashley.
She's a pretty one.
How do you two know each other?
We're friends, best friends.
Oh, best friend. Never mentioned him before.
When are you two gonna get hitched?
We're still talking about that.
She seems like a great girl you got there, Sam. You gotta lock down a girl like that. Somebody might just come along and take her. Something happened here 10 years ago. Something terrible.
You think no one is following us?
You are being paranoid.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprise!
To have a good time while I was away?
I was making the moves on your girlfriend. I'm gonna steal her right from under your nose because I'm better than you in every way.
I'm the good guy here. I'm not the bad guy. I'm the good guy. He's the bad guy. He's not the good guy. I'm the good guy. He's the bad guy. I'm the good guy. You're not gonna win!
I liked this trailer a lot because I love a good stalker movie.
Yeah. That looks good.
People acting inappropriately on film is one of my favorite things. In real life, pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I've worked in the mental health field for 20-something years, so I'm used to people acting inappropriate in real life. It's kind of a pain in the ass, especially if you're in the middle of a grocery store or whatever. But on film, it's always fun for me, so I like that a lot. And, I mean, it's got an all men are bad vibe to it, for sure.
Oh, totally. Especially when they showed in the trailer 10 years prior to some woman getting stabbed.
Yeah.
Right? So is it both of them that are bad? Are they playing a game with her?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely got, but it seems to be handling the all men are bad vibe in a kind of a comic way too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not totally straight. But so it's got jump scares, it's got laughs, it's got people acting inappropriately, and that is some of the stuff that I love.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
So it cuts deep. That looks like a good one to me.
Yeah.
Do we know when it's out? We don't know when it's out.
We don't.
Okay. Well, it could be out now, or it could be out in February. Could be out never.
Probably in February.
But hopefully soon. Hey everybody, it's time for the Massacre of the Week! You know what that means? Sure. That means that me and Andy watched another Massacre movie. Big pile of them that we're trying to thin them down.
We're really knocking them off.
Too many.
Well, hey, your mileage may vary. Some folks enjoy a massacre or four.
Started out with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, and it really went downhill from there.
It did, yeah.
And now we're really in the muck.
But occasionally, a blip, a beacon of hope, a bright beacon of hope.
And that may be what we're looking at today, because today we're going all the way back to 2016.
Oh, those are the days.
Remember 2016?
Oh, man.
I think that was the year Rui was born.
I believe so, yeah.
I'm not sure. This is from Jim Clark and William Mark McCullough. Jim Clark also plays Otto, the PTSD-riddled maintenance guy. It was written by Chad Ridgely, who plays Jack.
Clock is also a stage name. His actual name is O'Clock.
Right. It was written by the guy who plays the crazed assistant manager. So everybody was helping out. It was a real all hands on deck type of situation. It was shot in Georgia, which has a healthy, low-budget indie film community.
It does.
The whole film takes place in a hardware store. I've always liked horror films that take place in retail establishments. In fact, Rui enjoys that too. He was just talking about that on the podcast.
Rui talks about a lot of things.
Like Dawn of
This is my time, Ken.
Like Dawn of the Dead, or Chopping Mall, or Intruder,
Yep.
etc., etc. Or Burn. Remember that one in the convenience store?
Burn. Yeah, that was good.
This one, it takes place in the hardware store, and it's a Christmas movie.
You make me think of David Coverdale for a second. So anyway, away from that.
It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas Eve movie. And
Christmas
I happened
Eve
to view this one on Christmas Eve.
Wow!
Very festive. A very festive coincidence.
This is represented, by the way, Christmas Eve is represented by a few random Christmas lights, plus a drunk Santa and his sexy elf Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie was played by dancer/model Amber Jean.
Dancer/model/actress.
If you want to look her up.
She's a lot of fun.
It's Dave's first night working at the hardware store. He meets loose cannon assistant manager Jack.
He's so wacky.
And board cashier girl Tara, played by Melissa St. Armand. who I thought was great. She was like more evil Aubrey Plaza. It was
That's
that kind of.
exactly what they're going for.
They're
and
like-
they do a good job.
They're like, we're looking for an Aubrey Plaza type, and she was like, I got it.
I got it.
I got the
She's
eyeliner.
Yep.
I got the bad attitude.
What are you reading?
Oh, it's really good. It's called, None of Your Fucking Business by Leave Me the Fuck Alone. Ever heard of it?
But see, the thing is, you're saying, oh, this looks kind of cliched. I mean, but as you wait a moment, they really do it right.
And also, she in one of the first scenes, she shows her boobs for some Xanax.
Yeah.
Which was, I didn't expect that.
Me neither.
Did not expect the terror boobs, got them. This is not by the way, obviously this is not a politically correct movie at all.
No, in fact, they sort of play that up, and again, you're expecting, geez, is this going to be like one of those near misses where they're trying to be transgressive and edgy, but like the sudden boobs, like the edgy humor, like so many things in this film, the surprises end up being quite pleasant.
I'm not saying our generation, which of course was Generation X, was good at everything, right? Well, or we're
we hardly need to say it.
We're right on for everything,
Right
but
on, man.
we had a very reckless sense of humor, but that wasn't forced. We said so outrageous things because we thought it was funny, but we weren't really trying to be edgy, and that's kind of where we're at in this film. It's kind of a Gen X. It has a Gen X vibe. I don't think it was made by Gen Xers, but it has that kind of vibe.
A bit. Yeah, good point. It's got sort of that cynicism.
It's not self-consciously edgy.
World weariness.
You know what I mean? It's not
It doesn't end up
self-consciously
being
edgy.
self-consciously
It's just rolling. It's just rolling loose. That's what we were doing. We were rolling loose back in the 90s. You remember?
We said that all the time. It was like today's 4x4.
Today they say 4x4. Yeah. Back then
we were rolling loose.
Exactly. Eventually we get to the beginnings of a plot when they're asked to move a big tool crate in aisle 12.
Foreshadowing.
And they find a nasty surprise inside.
What?
So, they find a dead guy, a bag full of money. That's going to be a problem one way or the other. Both of those things, that's two problems. Fueled by greed and abetted by all their dark secrets, everybody turns on one another and start killing themselves and each other, some out of malice, some out of stupidity.
But it's a regular massacre, no matter which way you slice it.
It's definitely a massacre. Okay, first of all, the construction of this film is more of a Western than a typical slasher type massacre movie, I think.
Maybe one of those Western siege pictures that Howard Hawks used to be so fond of.
It's like a bunch of people with dark secrets plotting against each other,
Or like the Hammer classic, The Lost Continent.
So I don't know if it really counts as a massacre because there's not one person massacring a bunch of other people.
Hold on one goddamn minute. If this isn't a massacre, what is? Everyone ends up dead.
However, I did enjoy it quite a bit. It's a pitch black comedy with murder. Good characters, witty dialogue, moved at a brisk pace. One set of boobs, no real gore, but I was okay with it.
We got some partials from the sexy elf.
And it's a Christmas movie, so you can add it to your list of Christmas horror movies as well.
Sure.
Now, that's the setup for aisle 12. We have a strict criteria, 1 to 4 chainsaws. Let's find out what Massacre on aisle 12 gets.
Man, I am tempted to
Now remember, 4 is as high as you can get. And I think we established early on that that's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 sort of area. Now, Massacre on aisle 12 is no Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Let's not get crazy.
Well, some of us are crazy and prefer it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm giving this a solid 3.5 chainsaws. Dare you go higher?
3 chainsaws. What gives it the extra half?
Because I'm actually subtracting a half because I live in hope that we'll actually see a 4 chainsaw movie one of these centuries.
Yeah, if you give it a 4, you got no place to go.
No place to go but down.
All right. So anyway, that is a pretty strong.
It really is.
3.5.
I'd say it's the strongest of all the Massacrap we've viewed and reviewed here. The very strongest. A hearty recommendation from both the old sleaze grinder and myself.
There you go, everybody. Massacre on Isle 12. Check it out. I think it's the first time we can say that.
Really is.
We'll see you next time on Massacre of the Week. Until then,
keep the chainsaw revving!
Yeah! See you next week. And that brings us to this week's pick of the week.
Sorry, I got excited there.
I know. This week, it's Grizzly 2, The Revenge. All hell breaks loose when a giant grizzly, reacting to the slaughter of grizzlies by poachers, attacks at a massive rock concert in the national park.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's the sequel to the 1976 cult classic, Grizzly.
Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Grizzly 2 was filmed in 1983, but never actually finished or released, and only a rough cut ever existed. It was finally recut and restored last year, and now it's coming out. Grizzly 2 stars Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern, and George Clooney. And it is streaming now.
What happened now?
Grizzly killed again. 3 kids this time.
I don't want a cloud of fear on this concert. Now you get that, Grizzly, and get it now.
This grizzly's claw marks reach 18 feet off the ground. 27 inches the rear pads, 18 inches the fore. On firm soil 3 inches deep.
It's very bad. You got the devil bear.
Come on, you son of a bitch!
This trailer looks super fun. Great looking bear, awesome cast, plus a grizzly bear eating rock and rollers at a big rock concert.
Well, that's especially scary for you because you don't ever go to the woods. You're afraid of bears.
Yeah.
You stay out of the woods.
And then he shows up at the rock concert.
You're definitely going to be at that concert. You're fucking your ass is grass.
Huge problem. Who wouldn't want to see that? Grizzly 2, everybody. It's out now, and if you've been waiting since 1976.
I was really confused by this trailer because I did not know about Grizzly or Grizzly 2. And when I was watching this, I was like, man, they did a great job making this look like it was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Something that's coming out in 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun because, it was lost for a long time. And
what took so long?
And then it was found. Well, they ran out of money.
Oh.
And then nobody had any money.
Charlie Sheen definitely doesn't have any money.
I think that they had everything shot except for some of the giant bear footage. So like, okay, let's throw some dough into the giant bear, and then finish this thing off.
So the bear is new, but everything else is old.
From what I know, everything else is old except for the bear. Bear is new.
This is going to be incredible.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, is the end of this week's show. Sad to say, just flew right by. But it's the end. Before we
bring Rui out.
Before we go, we got to bring Rui out. Rui, the teenage werewolf exorcist intern. There he is, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Rui. Go ahead. Here, give us the plugs.
Well, you can check us out next week, but in the meantime, you can listen to our podcast, the Heavy Leather Horror Show podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or on the Campaneris Radio Network, gogocampaneris.com. You can also check out our old show, the Heavy Leather Topless Dance Party, on heavyleatherforever.com.
Thank you, Rui. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tony Baloney. Thank you, Tony Coca-Cola. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on the Heavy Leather Backyard Trailer Trash in the studio.
Spookshow.
Spookshow!